Okay. Yay. Yeah. Here I am. Here I go again on my own. Yeah. Yay. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Weary traveler from bizarre world. Oh, you know what? I don't even know if God is bro. Yay, it does work. So, you know you are past the Twilight Zone now. But there's one more stop for a girl.
I love it. You guys are so great.
Then travel down a little ways and you hit the fork in the road. Ha ha. The girl told you to go left, so you went right. Mhm. And rolled right into the most offensive church this side of the universe, the party pin. And what we do here in this most amazing place, we read this great ass book. It is called God Said, because he did not fucking say that. And normally, well, actually, this is God's unofficial biography. Das Bible, as read by yours truly, the Saint of Awesome, your Superstone Sage, the Get a Rhetoric Bible Lady, Saint Nikki K. the Great. Clap for me, I clap for you. Great. So, what we're actually doing, because, well, we're doing it because we're reading this Ethiopian journal of Das Juden. We're reading this so we know what God didn't say, so we can for sure know what he did say. And it was not that. So we are going to find out what he didn't say. There's reasons that we're finding this out. Oh, because everybody likes to shove it in people's faces. Well, the Bible, they kept books out. Well, we are slowly finding out why some of these books were left out. Because clearly they're untrue. And you can tell they're untrue. And King James probably saw that no, this is not going in the Bible because this is horseshit. So that's why he kept them out of the Bible, because they're horseshit. But whatever, it's on us to make that determination for ourselves. And I'm not making that determination for you. I'm going to read it to you and also lose my mind in the process of reading this to you. So you can know how not true all this shit is, because you're seeing my visceral reaction to this bullshit. And I'm not Christian. I'm not Bible-y at all. If you've ever seen my Bible videos, you know I am not Bible-y. And I give no shits about Bible. Like, but even for a non-Christian. This kind of hurts my feel bads for the Christians because they also have no idea what this thing says. So when you shove this in their face, like, look, King James kept this out of the Bible, they can't even tell you why King James kept that out of the Bible. But I'm going to tell you it's because it's full of shit. That's why it was kept out of the Bible. Because you guys, he would have blamed for it being kept in the Bible because clearly it's fake. So I guess he would much rather be known for keeping it out of the Bible because it's horse shit than letting the horse shit in the Bible. It's the better of the two evils. That's just my opinion. If it means anything. So I should check my YouTube. I check my pills. I'm on the pill. Check my YouTube. Am I on the YouTube? Yep, I'm on the YouTube. Okay. And it's Saturday night. I don't know how many people are going to come in today. Maybe no one, so it might be kind of a short night, which is cool with me. Because I want to get these high heels out of my mouth. Okay. So, okay, now we're on Jubilee 35. In the third week and the first year of the 35th Jubilee. Oh, and I also found out Jubilees are every 50 years. So when it's talking about the first week and the first year, the Jubilee is a 50-year, it's 5 decades. So this timeline is right. We just don't know what year the Jubilee is. We don't know what the years are. But the Jubilees are 50. And every 7 years, there's a clearance of debts. Yes, that is a thing that happens. So when it's like the 35th Jubilee, it's the third week of the first year. But it doesn't say what month. So Reu took for himself a wife, and she was called Ura, the daughter of Okay, and is Chaldean, the land that Abraham comes out of. Don't ask me why you need to know that. I also don't know. But this guy, and she bore him a son and called his name Sarai in the 7th year of this week, in this Jubilee. The sons of Noah began to war on each other and to take captive and slay each other, to shed the blood of men on the earth, and to eat blood, and build strong cities and walls and towers. And individuals began to exalt themselves above the nation and found the beginning kingdoms and go to war, people against people, and nation against nation, city against city, and all began to do evil and to acquire arms and to teach their sons war. And they began to capture cities and sell male and female slaves. Hold on, I can't see my chat. 1 second, please. And then I'll be able to see my chat. Just give me 1 second. Oh, it's you, Neil. Hi. I was wondering if anybody was coming. We're on the, oh, we're here. So I found out today, a jubilee is every 50 years. So when I was confused about why is time written like this, it's because jubilee is 50 years. 50 years is a jubilee. So when it's like the first year, the 7th week, that would be for the third week of the second month or something like that. But we don't know what year or month or anything like that. We just know the weeks and how many years into the jubilee it is. And this guy, Rayu, he took a wife. Her name was Aura. And she bore him a son and called him Zero. They called him Zero. And in the 7th year of this jubilee, everybody began to fight each other. Now, this is after the Tower of Babel, after Noah died. Even though Babel was a place while Noah was still alive. But now it's definitely a place because Noah's dead. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't. Okay? And they built themselves walls and towers and began to exalt themselves above the nation and found the beginning kingdoms and to go to war, people against people and nation against nation. And all began to do evil and acquire arms and to and to teach their sons war. They began to capture cities and sell male and female slaves. And built the city of Ara of the Chaldees and called its name after his own name, which is And that's where Abraham came from. That's why I said that. Is where Abraham came from. It's Chaldean. And they made for themselves molten images, and they worshiped each the idol the molten image which they had made for themselves. And they began to make graven images and unclean simulacra, and malignant spirits assisted and seduced them into committing transgression and uncleanliness. And the prince, Mastima, and remember, somebody, hold on, I have to pee. Give me 1 second. Oh, I have to pee so bad. Okay. Sorry, Neil. Okay. So, yesterday there was the guy called Mastima, right? And he came and he was like, let's do it in tenths. And then we need to leave a tenth for. Hold on. Hold on. And the chief of the spirits, Mastima, that's who that is, came and said, Lord, Creator, let some of them remain before me, and let them hearken to my voice, and do all that I shall say to them. For if some of them are not left to me, I shall not be able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men. So, see, this is the shit I don't get because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Hey, cousin. Hi, cousin. Look, I don't know what. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Noah's praying about the malignant evil spirit. And then the chief of priests, whose name is Mastima, came and said, let some of them remain before me, and let them hearken to my voice, and do all that I will say. For if some of them are not left, I shall not be able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men. For these are for corruption and leading astray before my judgment. For great is the wickedness of these terrible ass people. He said, 1/10 needs to remain to me. 9 parts need to go back to hell. And one of us, he commanded that we should teach Noah all their medicines. So we did that, right? And then Noah slept with his father. But where's the part of them that they left for Satan? But before him, and let 9 parts descend into the place of, and one of us needs to teach Noah all malignant evil ones. Right here we are. So, and one of us, he commanded, teach Noah all the medicines, because he knew they would not walk in uprightness. And we did according to all his words. And the malignant evil ones we bound to the place of condemnation. And a 10th part of them we left so they could be subject to Satan. Okay? And a 10th of them we left to Satan on the earth. And then over here, this chief spirit began committing. And the prince, Mastema, he wasn't a prince though, he was the chief spirit. So now how is he a prince? See what I'm saying? This shit don't make no fucking sense. He was a chief spirit, not even fucking 3 paragraphs ago. Right? Hold on, what does it say? And the chief of the spirits, Mastema. And then right down here it says, the prince, Mastema, exerted himself to do all this. And he sent forth other spirits, with which were put under his hand, to do all manner of wrong and sin, and all manner of transgression. 18. To destroy and shed blood on the earth. For this reason, he called the name Sarah Serug, for everyone turned to do all manner of sin and transgression. And he grew up and dwelt in Ur of the Chaldees, near the father of his wife's mother. And he worshipped idols, and he got a wife in the 36th Jubilee, in the 5th week, in the 1st year, and her name was Milcah. And she bore him Nahor. There you go. Nahor is Abe's dad. who's a Chaldean. I don't believe this Bible, but at least I know I wasn't thinking such the wrong way. Abe is definitely a Chaldean. And that means Isaac and Jake were also Chaldean. Because his half sister was his wife, and she's from the same place. So these people started out as Chaldeans. Okay. Anyway, this isn't going to be that long. Okay. And her name is Mel, and she bore him Nahor. In the first year of this week, and he grew and dwelt in Ur of the Chaldees, and his fathers taught him the researches of the Chaldees to divine Agur according to the signs of heaven. And in the 37th Jubilee, in the 6th week, in the first year, he took to himself a wife. And her name is Jaska. And she bore him Terah. I thought Nahor was Abe's brother or father. Shit. Oh, I don't know what that is. I don't know what's happening. Okay, no, that's right. Abe's dad is Terah. That's right. Okay. And Terah. And in the 7th year of this week, and the prince Mastima sent ravens and birds to devour the seed which was sown in the land in order to destroy it and rob these terrible ass people of their labors. Before they could plow in the seed, and the ravens picked it from the surface of the ground. And for this reason, he was called Derah, because the heavens and the birds reduced them to destitution. And this is a thing with these people. They always name their children depression. I'm super depressed, so your name is going to be horrible sadness because God. Okay. And the years began to be barren, owing to the birds, and they devoured all the fruit of the trees. It was only with great effort that they could save a little bit of the fruit of the earth in their days. And in this 39th Jubilee, in the 2nd week of the first year, Terah took for himself a wife, and she was Edna, the daughter of Abraham, his father's sister. And in the 7th year, she bore him a son, and that was Abe. Okay, so Abe, fully Chaldean. Abe is full Chaldean. Now, earlier I was talking about this with someone. Her name is Hazel Eyes. We were watching one of my documentaries that I've been trying to watch. She watched it with me, and we talked all about Abe was not a Jew. Although she filled me in on something. Apparently, Jesus spoke Aramaic. He didn't speak Jew, but they had to have spoke something close to Jew because of the Holy Roman Empire. They weren't going around learning every single language. But again, I don't fucking know. I wasn't alive. So maybe they were speaking Aramaic. No, obviously they were, because Passion of the Christ, they literally had to learn a whole new language for that movie, right? Okay. And he was called Abe by the name of the father of his mother, for he had died before his daughter had conceived a son. And the child began to understand the errors of the earth that went, the errors of the earth that all went astray after graven images, after uncleanliness. And his father taught him writing. And he was 2 weeks old. And he was 2 weeks old. And he separated himself from his father, that he might not worship idols with him. How could he separate himself from his father if he was only 2 weeks old? That is not even a thing. All right, good night, cousin. I love you. Please come by always. Hey. Okay. Anyway, have a good day at work, cuz I love you. Miss Muddy should be here eventually. Hi, Jason. How are you? Welcome to the party pen. I know you probably aren't staying for very long, and that's okay, because I'm trying to finish this as quick as I can also, because this book is full of shit. But you can stay if you want to. But just know I'm about to talk a lot of shit, because I don't understand how a 2-year-old can separate himself from his father, because I don't think that's a fucking thing. Oh, and Abraham is fully Chaldean. See, I've been saying that, even though I don't believe this Bible, but because it said something that I believe to be true, I'm going with it. Just, I don't, Mormons can do it. Why can't I? I don't know. I was just saying. But, it says, okay. So, Tara had Abe, right? And he was named Abe because of his mom's dad. He died before Abe was born. So she named him Abe. And he began to understand the heirs of the earth by the heirs of the earth that all went astray after graven images, after uncleanliness. And his father taught him writing, and he was 2 weeks of years old. So he was only 2 weeks old, and he separated from his father that he might not worship idols with him. How did he know that at 2 weeks old? He didn't know that at 2 weeks old. See what I'm saying? This book is just full of shit. Hi, Neil. I'm so glad you're still here. Yeah, Miss Muddy should also be coming in. It's Saturday, and I don't think I'm way too late. So she might be coming in. And I don't know about anybody else because it's Saturday night. Anyway, he was 2 weeks old and did some shit there's no way he could have possibly done. And he began to pray to the creator of all things that he might save him from the errors of these terrible ass people, that his portion should not fall into error after uncleanliness and vileness. And the seed time came for the sowing of seed upon the land. And they went forth together to protect their seed against the ravens. So this is where scarecrows came from, I guess. And Abe went forth with those that went, and the child was a lad of 14. Okay, so now he's a preteen. How'd he go from 2 months old to knowing everything to being a preteen? What is even happening? I have the Nagamati. Okay, well, I don't know somebody else said something to me the other day about a Nag Hammadi. And I don't know a Nag Hammadi. I think Neil over here said it's a book of ancient writings. I don't believe the one I'm reading right now. I haven't read any other ones. I only got the $18 version of the Ethiopian Bible, so I only have some of the books. And I know some of the books that are in this version of the Ethiopian Bible I have are in the Catholic Bible as well. And we're going to be reading that one next. And I don't follow mainstream teaching, but a grateful believer. Oh, well, then you fit in right here perfect at the porty pen, because I am not a Christian. I am a sage. Well, I'm a saintly sage. And I believe the Old Testament. The Old Testament is my favorite book. It is the funniest book, and it has absolutely everything. And General Piggy is here. General Piggy, he's coming in. No, it's General Samuel Field, but he wanted to be a pig, so he's General Piggy. He's coming, I hope. He made me a sticker before. He made this one. Yeah. I hope he comes so then you can see I play it. I show it. I love this thing. But anyway, I am not a Christian. I am a sage. I don't read this book like somebody who believes it. I love the Old Testament. It is the funniest book ever. So I really hope that you'll stay around. I hate hyping up my videos because I never make them sound as good as they really are. So I just hope you stick around. And General Piggy should be in here. I feel him coming. Okay. So anyway, so Abe was like 14, but he was 2 weeks old when he knew everything. And a cloud of ravens came to devour the seed, and Abe ran to meet them before they settled on the ground and cried to them before they settled on the ground to devour the seed. And he said, "Descend not, return to the place where you came." And they proceeded to turn back. And he caused the clouds of the ravens to turn back the day 70 times. And of all the ravens throughout the land where Abe was there settled, not much as one. And all who, man, oh my God, this book is getting so hard to read for no reason. This is really stupid. Why did I agree to do this? Why? Why did I agree to do this? I agreed to do this because it's completely necessary. This is not necessary. Ah, I hate this. Why? Why? Okay. 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 70 times. And Abram was there, and all who were turned back. And his name became great in all the land of the Chaldees. Because Abraham is Chaldean. Everybody needs to remember that. Abe was not a Jew. And there came to him this year all that wished to sow. And he went with them until the time of sowing ceased. And they sowed. They sowed their land. And that year they brought enough grain home and ate and were satisfied. And in the first year of the first week, Abe taught those who made implements for oxen, the artificers in wood, and they made a vessel above the ground, facing the frame of the plow, in order to put seed thereon. And that is not how they never did it that way. Look, don't you think they would have done it that way in the days of plowing? Like, how many times have you seen, like in the movies and shit, they'll plow a line and then manually put in the seed? And here they're saying they built a machine to do that. So there was a machine to do that before there was a machine to do that. It's crazy. And the seed fell down upon the share of the plow, and it was hidden in the earth, and they no longer feared the ravens. And after this manner, they made vessels above the ground on all the frames of the plows, and they sowed and tilled the land according as Abe commanded them, and they no longer feared the birds. That is not a thing that happened. That is not a thing that happens. Be well, folks. My days began before this one. Okay, well, awesome. Because you know what? That was the end of chapter 11. How many minutes did we get that? We got that done in 45 minutes. Look at that. Okay. Well, I love you, Neil. It's time to give the pillow some head and the sheet some ass and have the sweetest dreams ever. I love you so much. Good night, Neil. Now we're waiting for Miss Muddy. Wait, Miss Muddy might not even come. She might be at bingo again. She fell off the wagon and spent all of her money on bingo. Ooh, somebody's messaging me. What do you say? So it's bedtime. No. General Piggy! Did you ever come? General Piggy might not have come, but it says that he just liked my video again. The third time my phone told me you've liked my same video. General Piggy, Piggy, Piggy. Okay. This one isn't that long either. I mean, it might be kind of long. But I know the story of Abraham real well. Like, I know it real well. And how it's written in Genesis. Don't you think if this really would have been like this, they would have wrote more in the story of Abraham than God told him that he needed to be kicked the fuck out of his dad's house because he was like 83. And why the fuck are you living at your dad's house at 83? Wouldn't the Bible have said something about why Abe was famous in the first place? But again, I think this is another this is their version of the internet, keyboard tough guy. Always making people more than they are. Because they also say that them as a people existed way before they actually existed. They put themselves in the time of Adam and Eve, like they were helping God. And that's not a thing that happened. So I don't know. I have a real hard time. Okay. And I don't even know why I agreed to read this book. Oh, I remember why. Because me and Miss Muddy saw this video on the Ethiopian Bible, and they made it sound like it was going to say something fantastic. And no, it doesn't. Actually, it doesn't say anything fantastic at all. Okay. So, which Jubilee is this? The 35th? The 35th. No, 36th Jubilee. So it's the seventh year of the Jubilee that Abe said to Terah, his father, saying, "Hey, Dad." And Terah was like, "Sup?" And he said, "What help and profit have we from those idols that you worship and who you bow yourself to?" This is not a thing. This is not a thing. So pretty much Abe is telling his dad, is that doing you any good? That might not be doing you any good. And my ears. Ah, damn. That kind of did hurt my ears a little bit. Okay. So, yeah. So why do you do that? Because it's kind of stupid. So, yeah, don't worship them. Worship the God of heaven. Yeah, but a minute ago you were calling him the creator God. So now he's got a new name. Okay, so now he's got a new name. Okay, the God of heaven who causes the rain and the dew to descend on the earth and does everything upon the earth and has created everything by his word. Okay, Abraham didn't say any of this because none of this shit existed. Actually, it did exist, but how would Abraham have known any of that? I guess. This is so hard. This is harder to get through than the Apocrypha was. And I didn't get through the Apocrypha either. No, I didn't. Because it was hard to get through. Because you could just tell it was a lie. And it's a lies on stories that I know. It was lies on stories that I know you could tell they were lying. And as I try to point it out, try to be like, there's no way that happened. But for some reason, people believe it happened. And it's like, no, that clearly did not happen because none of that stuff was a thing. But it might have been a thing that nobody ever heard of before. So he created everything with his word. And all life from henceforth. What? He created everything by his word. And all life from before his face. Why do you worship things that have no spirit? For they are the work of men's hands. And on your shoulders you bear them. And you have no help from them. But they are a great cause of shame to those who make them, and a misleading of the heart to those who worship them. I don't worship them. And his father was like, son, shut the fuck up. You're getting on my damn nerves. That's what he said to him. Shut the fuck up. You're getting on my nerves. You talk too much. How do you know that shit? No one knows how you know that shit, but you know that shit. Keep it to yourself. That's not what he said. He said, my son, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with the people who have made me to serve before them? And if I tell them the truth, they will slay me, because that's what people do when you tell them the truth. Because true things hurt the feel bad. For their souls cleave to them, to worship them, allure them. Keep silent, my son, lest they kill you. And if they will slay you. And these words he spoke to his two brothers, and they were angry with him. And he kept silent. And in the 40th Jubilee, the second week, in the 7th year, Abe took a wife, and her name was Sarah, the daughter of his father, and she became his wife. So she's also a full Chaldean. So Isaac is full Chaldean. And Jake and Esau are at least half Chaldean. Okay. And Sarah. And Haran, his brother, took to himself a wife. There's going to be Lot's dad. Haran is Lot's dad. Okay. In the third. Okay. In the 7th year, Lot was born, and Nahor, his brother, took himself a wife. And in the 60th year of the life of Abe, that is what? Wait a minute. Okay. And Nahor, his brother. And in the 60th year of Abe's life, that is, okay, so this is the 40th Jubilee. When Abe was 60, so Abe turned 60 in the 40th Jubilee. Abe rose by night and burned the house of idols and burned all that was in the house, and no man knew it. And they arose in the night and sought to save their gods from the midst of the fire. And Haran hasted to save them, but the fire flamed over him, and he was burnt in the fire, and he died in Ur before Terah his father, and they buried him in Ur. And Terah went forth from Ur, he and his sons, to go to the land of Lebanon, and he dwelt in the land of Haran. Okay, wait. No. Okay. So they left her to go to the land of Lebanon, into the land of Canaan, with Terah his father, and Haran 2 weeks of year. And in the 6th week, in the 5th year, Abe sat up throughout the night on the new moon of the 7th month to observe the stars from evening to morning, in order to see what would be the character of the year with regard to the rain. And he was alone as he sat and observed. And a word came into his heart and said, all the signs of the stars and the signs of the moon and of the sun are all in the hand of the Lord. Why do I search them out? If he desires, he can make it rain whenever he wants. And if he desired, he could withhold it. And he said, my God, Most High, thou alone art my God, and thee and thy dominion have I chosen. And thou hast created all things, and all things are the work of your hands. Deliver me from the hands of these evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee. Leave me of thy hands. Deliver me from the hands of the evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from you, my God, and establish me and my seed forever, that we don't go astray henceforth and forevermore. He did not say this. I have, okay. He did not say this. And shall I return to Ur of the Chaldees, who seek my face, that I may return to them? Or am I to remain here in this place? The right path before me, the right path before thee, prosper it in the hands of your servant, that he may fulfill it, and that I may not walk in the deceitfulness of my heart. Oh my God. This is not, this is not, this is not, this is not a thing. What is this? Not a thing. And he made an end of speaking and praying. And behold, the word of the Lord was sent to him, saying, get up from your country and from your kindred. Yeah, but see, the thing is when God said this to Abraham, he was in the land of Ur. He was already at home. What is this even saying? This is saying bullshit, bitch. Bullshit. And he left his family, all but Sarah and Lot. He left them in the land of Ur because that's where they came from. It just that this is not a thing that happened. And I really want to be done with this. Like, and this weed tastes like grass. Not ass, grass. It literally tastes like grass. Okay. So anyway. Okay. It says, get up from your country. Get up from thy kindred, from the house of your father, to a land which I will show you. And I shall make you a great and numerous nation. And I will bless thee, and I will make your name great. And I, damn it. And I will make your name great and will be blessed in the earth. And you and in you, all the families of the earth will be blessed. And I will bless them that bless you and curse them that curse you. And I will be a God to you and your son and your grandkids, everybody, all the earth. And I will be God. And to all thy seed, fear not from here forth until all the generations of the earth. I am your God. Oh, I could have been saying that in all in God voice. I could have been saying that in God voice. And the Lord God said,
Okay, hold on. Get up from your country, away from your family, and I will make you a great and plenty nation. I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and you will be blessed in the earth, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. And I shall bless them that bless you, curse them that curse you, and I shall be a God to you and your son and your son's son, and to um, hold on, and to your sons and all thy seed. Fear not from here forth and until all generations of the earth. I am your God. Open his mouth and his ears, that he may hear and speak with his mouth. What? Open his mouth and his ears, that he may hear and speak with his mouth with the language which has been revealed. For it has ceased from the mouths of all these terrible ass people from the day of the overthrow of Babel. And I opened his mouth and his ears and his lips, and I began to speak with him in Jew and in the tongue of the creation. And he took the books of his fathers, and these were written in Jew, and he transcribed them, and he began from henceforth to study them. And I made known to him that which he could not understand. Yeah, because he was 2 weeks old anyway. And he studied them during the 6 rainy months. And it came to pass in the 7th year of the 6th week that he spoke to his father and informed him that he would never leave Haran to go to the land of Canaan. Why God doesn't need to say this. I'm not saying that in God's voice.
God don't need to say that. What the fuck is happening? No one even knows. But we're almost done. Interact. Okay. So he would never leave Haran to go into the land of Canaan to see it and return to him. And Terah, his father, said, go on. Just, God is with you, my brother. Go in peace, right? And the Lord be with you and protect you from all evil and grant unto thee grace, mercy, and favor before those who see you. And may none of these terrible ass people have power over you to harm you. Go in peace. And if you see a land pleasant to your eyes, dwell in it. Then arise and take me to you, and take Lot with you, your brother's son. Leave with me till you return in peace. We will go together. What? And they were. Oh, so leave Nahor home until you come back. Just take Lot. Yeah, something like that. But that's the end of that bullshit. I don't know. Because Abe left from Ur. And then it says they left Ur and went to the Chaldeans. But now it's like, Abe's like, no, I'm not going to Chaldea with you. And when did it say that the people found out Abe burned down their idol church or whatever? They didn't find that out. I don't know. I don't know what this is saying, but I'm not wondering if Miss Muddy didn't come because she knew I was going to talk so much shit. Miss Muddy, I know you're watching on Replay Crew, so tell me, did you not come because I was going to talk mad shit? I'm going to do my best not to talk so much mad shit, but I just talk so much mad shit. And you know how I feel about the Old Testament. And you know how I feel about things going with the Old Testament. There's no such fucking thing as a book that goes with the Bible. Not even the New Testament, because that book is fucking snaky as fuck from Axon. It starts with a lie and ends with a lie. Craziest fucking book. The story of Jesus, I consider a whole separate book. That's called Jesus Who? Question mark. Yeah. But book 3 of Das Bible, the actual book written by a Pharisee, that's the third book, and that book is nothing but lies. But the Old Testament's fine. I've read 4 versions of it. It's all says the same thing, just using different words. Because word magic is a real fucking thing. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like this book might have been true on some other universe, just not the universe we're on. And maybe the universe this came from actually has a copy of our Bible, which is probably the closest to what happened. I don't know. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to get over to Severe's channel. Oh, he might not even be live anymore. Holy shit. Okay. Well, anyway, I want to tell everybody goodbye. Thank you for watching. It is time to give the pillow some head up. Put some lipstick on. Put a ring on it. Get it all over your face. And then give your bed linen the best ass of your life. Hit a bowl. Have a postcoital cigarette. And then have the sweetest dreams on the planet.